Maybe Thunderclaw or two could be found to help along this pair.
Yeah, and I know that we saw a Sylph out of that better starter kit that we got. So if we find a Rydia, she can be online pretty soon. And that Rydia is a required person to find. Also in this like set, we don't have any old men or beards. So there's no Sid. There's no other edge. It's a Katana quest. Katana's a single edge weapon. We get one edge. Um, but there's no food, no Tella, no Sid.
That could make things a little difficult if we do have to do a grind because it's a standard shop, so theoretically sirens could be available. But if the seed is not taken kindly to us, we could have to find an alternate kind of grind.
Yeah, we do see Rosa there in Baron Inn on Pixel Tamer and Xenocat screens. And Dia is taking advantage of the Wildish flag by dipping into the Watery Pass. Just like the T Pro, Wildish is bumped up in some of those lonely areas, so she can find some really good loot. Meanwhile, Gambit is doing a more standard opening in Damsian because the loot is just fine there too.
Right, and that also lets you raise the hovercraft since you know this is going to be a hook seed at one point or another. Being able to do that early on that saves you a little bit of time.
And I haven't seen anything particularly great that Dia got out of that Watery Pass, although I didn't see all the chests.
It does seem like we do have a long sword available in the Baron checks there, which is when you're starting off with an edge is a very nice upgrade to the short swords he usually starts with.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be very tempted to go immediately do the dupe glitch there, and you just have them equipped with a couple long swords and then sell a bunch too.
Absolutely. The duplication glitch means that if you can pull it off, money is not going to be a problem at all during this seed. We see Dia is going to take a peek inside uh, the bed there in Kaipo and finds Edward.
That is a good place to remember to find if you do get that Cinder Bee and have a spoon.
Absolutely. It does hinge on finding that spoon relatively soon as well.
Yeah, if I can dupe, I will always take a spoon and an Edward, get a lot of them, and then just throw quad nines with edge for the rest of the seed.
Absolutely. You see Gambit is going to be heading up Hobbs, taking a look at the character check there, while Dia loots the back of Watery Pass.
And here we have a Dark Knight Cecil and a Rubicant Shape. Is it elements or is it the real deal? That is one of our objectives.
That is a very nice find this early in the seed. It does look Gambit is going to take advantage of that dupe glitch to get a lot of swords very early.
It looks like he found a ninja sword somewhere, so that'd be pretty nice. Looks like he might be duping the Charm Claw.
You see Dia taking the route through Antlion instead. It's usually one of the two checks you do first, either Hobbs or Antlion, so that makes a lot of sense.
And Gambit doing just enough damage to get to the I Lost Now text from Rubicant that a lot of people do skip most of the time in Free Enterprise.
It's a rare find when you get to do that. So that's one objective down for Gambit, but it looks like Xenocat is right on his heels. I think I've seen 2 or 3 shuriken along the way as well. I've seen a way to dupe those, but at least from a theme perspective, it's a very nice item to see.
Yeah, and until you get some good throwing weapons, they'll work just fine too, or throw normal weapons. And here we've got Mylon Z, so a bunch of fiends early.
So now that you have that Dark Knight Cecil, you got to be thinking back in your mind, am I strong enough to hit ordeals and get him to change over to Paladin? I haven't seen a strong weapon for Paladin Cecil yet on anybody's screen. So it might not be the highest priority, but it's still something you probably want to do fairly early.
Yeah, I know you're right, where I would be more incentivized if I saw a very good item early. And there's a hook that is required for this flag set, because we do have to watch the Falcon.
Good news, bad news. I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, and we do have to, that does give us another character check, as well as 2 bosses too, to find King Queen Evelyn or to find Rydia.
Absolutely, it is the way underground potentially if we don't find the magma key, but it can always pose a problem based on what bosses you find down there.
think we now do have Xenocat, Pixel Tamer, and Gambit all have found that Rubicante and defeated him at the top of Hobbs. And they will soon be getting their hook.
Idea's right behind them. She'll be taking care of Rubicante very quickly as well. While the other three will be dealing with Mylon Z.
And I imagine that even though, unless they find a Magma Key, it'll be interesting to see who decides to just run down that hook route, or who wants to go and do Fabul just in case there is a Magma Key there. Your odds are pretty good that you're going to find a Magma Key also overground, just because of the density of key items with K main on.
Absolutely, there's no key items hidden behind the moon bosses or the summon bosses, so you know there's very high probability that there'll be a valuable key item behind those last checks in the overworld.
Yeah, Dia making great use of that Blizzard item to just take out Rubicante in one particular shot.
And we have Gambit, Pixel, and Xenocat pretty much neck and neck right now, all either going right into the Mylon fight or just coming out of it. Dia is taking off Dark Knight Cecil and looks to be going to ordeals.
Yeah. It's just a great spot for 3 bosses. They'll all be pretty easy and quick to defeat with Edge on the team. Not too surprised to see this play coming pretty soon. I imagine after this, Dia goes to Baron in and then just heads underground. I know she really likes to push underground pretty fast on a hook seed.
Yes, and when you start with Edge, it's not something you normally see on your average seed, since Edge is usually a gated character, gated behind a key item check. But when you start with an Edge, you have a lot more power than you're used to having at this point in the seed. So being able to push the pace just a little bit and do some of the tougher checks you might hold off before doing, like, you do some shopping or doing an easier check, it's definitely a valuable play.
Yeah, and with the better starter kit too, they're not really incentivized to do a whole lot of shopping early unless they want to find, like, maybe a Drain Spear, or if they had a cane, or just something to dart early.
And it's Dr. Lugay as the first boss check.
And there's a Wyvern that Pixel Tamer takes out in Baron Inn, it looks like. Unless that is Fabul. Nope, that is Baron Inn.
That is the Baron Inn. We had Witchburn on as the flag here, so it wouldn't do the opening Mega Nuke, and it doesn't look like it was ever going to be a problem since that spot has so few hit points. And it's Bahamut, another moon boss behind Wyvern.
Yeah, that is Mega Nuke in this evening.
We have seen a cat doing a quick check of the watery pass boss and finding an appropriate watery boss there as well. We don't have to fight that.
Dia finds the Alt Gauntlet on the back of Ordeals. How much do you want a Paladin?
This is one of the more awkward spots for a time because it's these packs full of zombies and ghouls, 6-7 at a time. You do have Flame, however, with Edge there, which will make quick work of a few of these packs, but it's still going to be a little bit of a grind.
Yeah, and after already having put Dr. Dialogue, this is an awfully long walk up the mountain.
I think at this point you just have to keep powering through it. It's not going to be a question of difficulty, because it should be a fairly safe fight. It's just a question of time.
Yeah, and it looks like, along with having an excellent White Mage in the Baron Inn, there was a Darkness Crystal behind the 2 dragons there. So that is some very good news. We do need that Darkness Crystal. There is no pass available to our runners. So they absolutely must go to the moon through the Darkness Crystal.
Absolutely. There's so many boss checks there trying to find the King Queen. Could be Rydia up there. It's a question of when you want to go at least take a peek at that character as well. And it looks like Pixel is going to go ahead and raise the whale pretty early.
Yeah, gives you another character check, another place that Rydia might be hiding. Interesting that I haven't really seen anyone be wielding multiple swords yet. We just saw Xenocat be in their menu, and I saw a single ninja sword and a thing long and a mute knife. But no one really taking a huge advantage of the Duke Glitch quite yet.
Looks like Xeno's going to be the first one who gives us a peek into the Outland shops here. Coffins and Sirens. Now that's a shop and a half.
Yeah, and that is a good reason to maybe take one of those short swords and do the full stack of selling. You don't need that many of either of them, but you'll definitely be able to afford all that you could ever want.
I see in Xeno's inventory, he also picked up a curse ring somewhere, which is a very nice item to have for the end game.
And also a Murasame. So I'm pretty sure that edge is going to stick with us through the rest of the seed, with having one of the two best katanas in the game.
And if they wanted to, you could have two of them.
Yep. If they wanted to, they can have 255 or more. Because that is a throwable one as well. Some boomerangs available too, so it can back row glitch that edge. That'll be very nice. It does it correctly in the right hand.
Gammon and Pixel are both climbing up ordeals as well, going to start the fights there, while Dia is still having to deal with this rather nasty gauntlet spot.
But is finally through. Edge is the only one standing at the end, but Edge is the only one that matters out of that team at this point. Dark Knight, Setzel, and Yang aren't really going to help you too much, except just being punching bags.
No, just decoys at that point.
Xenocat finding another Lunar Sparkle and a Quack Kit.
Interesting time to find a Palom. It's going to take a little bit more time than you might have, especially if you're continuing to go through the hook route to get Quake online to help out at this point. But eventually, it's going to be a very strong member of the party.
Yeah, and then there's a Sandruby and then Mega Sisters at the top of ordeals for Dia.
Well, that is an Edward if you want it. When we find the spoon, I'm sure you'll want it. In the meantime, we still have to get through the sisters, but again, this is a very easy boss spot, so having no problem.
Yeah, one quick was it Flame, Mega Sisters go away, Sandruby is now Dia's to keep, and at the very least, Edward might be a late game pickup just to be an anchor.
Especially also, as we alluded to before, we find that pink tail, we can have a Adam and Spoon word in our party, which is very nice if we can get Edward's HP up for the final battle.
Yeah, and it is possible that we could see apples in the coal shop, which would be another way to get Edward's HP up too, in case we do find a spoon. I'm not sure it's always going to be worth it to apple up at that point, because it's just level to be so easy to get to the Sirens in Emblem. And there won't be able to buy the J item, Lit Bolt and Firebomb and Blizzards.
Zetacat took the Stale Man fight in the Upland Cave, getting a Moon Veil for their troubles.
That has some value, especially if that is like maybe a mean Pale Dim at the Rubicon spot. We'll just be able to pretty easily take it out then.
Dia finishing up her overworld checks with a check on Baron Inn. Going to be getting the Rosa and the Darkness Crystal.
The Strengthening is a nice find too in Cave Emblem.
I don't remember off the top of my head how strong the items are in Cave Eblin on T-Pro flags that we're using T Wildish, which is sort of improved T-Pro. I don't remember if they're sort of an incentivized location or not.
Yeah, they are incentivized. They're locked behind the key item, and there's a trap chest involved, so there's a little bit of incentivization. I don't think they're good enough that you could find an adamant armor inside there. But we did see both a Strengthening and a Zeus Gauntlet, so Xenocat's Edge is just ready to absolutely punch people very, very hard with swords.
And Xenocat did opt to exit out of there, not wanting to go through the hook route at this time. I think they've still got ordeals to go through as well. It's a good place to get some levels on that paling.
Yeah, Xenocat might be the only one of our runners who really enjoys seeing the gauntlet here. That would be an awful lot of XP for Palom very, very quickly.
Gambit and Pixel are still working their way through that rather lengthy gauntlet living up to its name.
Yeah, Pixel doing a good job using some flame. I don't know if Gambit's edges run out of MP yet, or he's just not quite using flame yet.
Did a quick check of this dragon spot. It's an Octomom, not the King Queen boss we're still looking for.
Yep, so a very quick reset out, and then a quick bonk onto the Baron Town before going in to do the Baron in on Xenocat's side.
So this is looking like you're going to have to go through the hook route, and we saw a Lunar Sparkle as the second boss. So it opens up the question, what bosses are remaining there, and could they pose a threat to our runners? If it's Plague, that certainly is easy enough to deal with. If it's the D-Lunars, or if it is Pale Dim, those might pose a problem.
Yeah, D-Lunars could be interesting without any actual white mage that we've seen. So, Rosa's on the team, so it won't be too bad. We haven't seen anyone actually summon the whale and go up to the moon yet, I don't believe.
I think we saw Pixel summon the whale, but decide not to go up yet.
And Dia making the entrance into Fabul, going to hope for a Magma Key and just do the hook route later. Dia finds the Leviathan attacking the monks. While Gambit and Pixel Tamer are taking care of the sisters up top of ordeals.
And, gets their Darkest Crystal as well. One of the other nice things about having the edge so early is that you put him in the middle part of your slot of your party, and his agility is so much higher than any other boss in the overworld that you can pretty much get very, very close to either knocking them out outright or getting very close to the point where you can kill them before they can get a hit, like we just saw down there with Leviathan.
Yeah, just getting like 2 or 3 swings per. And the King of Fool just goes a Legend Sword, which with a Sissel in the party is not bad to have. We just want a nice shiny Space Rock to get us an Excalibur, which would make Dia very happy indeed.
Absolutely.
But barring a Trolley D-Mist up in the Mega Scissor spot in Zot, we do indeed have a hook route.
That would be quite a troll there. I can't imagine anyone's going to want to take a look at that, considering that they do all have access to the underground. It just may not be the nicest one right now.
And Anthony Nelms 38 in chat asking who's in the lead. It's really a little bit too soon to say. Dia might have about a 30-second lead in what is in our restream runners, just because she was able to clear a bunch of spots pretty fast. But it's really too soon to know. They've all pretty much been doing the same checks.
It looks like everyone is doing their shopping percent right now, trying to get as many strong items as possible for, I guess, diving into that hook route. Stands right now of the 6 objectives that our runners have to complete. The only one that they've all done right now was finding the early Rubicante on Mount Hobbs. Otherwise, we're still missing Iridia, we're still missing the King Queen Eblon, and they have the hook route where they can launch the Falcon, and they have the Darkest Crystal where they can complete the altars, but they're obviously not feeling very strong about that right now.
Yeah, they're absolutely going to pass on those for a little while. And we have Xenocat up on the moon, going to the Value Cave first, probably doing a very quick check to see if King Queen Evelyn is here.
Be a nice place to find them. Gets a nice amount of free experience that way.
Yeah, and just you're able to peek without committing too much time. It's not a bad check to give you a lot of good information. Dia getting the news that Palom is the 5th character that we'll have so far in the seed.
Meanwhile, we have Gambit launching his whale as well.
I see Pixel Tamer taking off in the desert. I imagine that he went and checked out that Edward in bed uh, with the Sand Ruby. I don't know if Edward was picked up, but ooh, and Cure 3's in the shop in Troya. That's pretty nice to know.
I don't think he's gone through the hook route yet, so I think that was his 5th character by default. It was a Lunar Sparkle in Value Cave, so not what we're looking for.
Yep, we know we don't need anything. Dia is going to take advantage of having that Murasame, going to do the Duke Glitch, then have lots and lots of Murasames forever.
It's a nice item to have to throw and wheel 2 of them. Xeno has found Bacchus wines in the Hummingway Cave.
Ooh, that's also very, very nice.
Pixel is also going to defend Fabul, get that Legend Sword once he finishes up there. Does look like Dia is going to commit to the hook route, while Xenocat is going to check and see what they've got waiting for them in the Lunar Subterranean in terms of the character check.
And there she is.
That's the Rydia. That's the character we're looking for. And unfortunately, at this point, I can't imagine that they're going to want to be put into the party at this point.
I mean, it really depends on how you feel about Rydia. I would be kind of tempted to maybe put her on the side for a little while and either use her as an anchor, or if I felt like I wanted to slingshot her. But this looks like it might be an anchor possibility, going straight in the middle. She'll be very, very good at that job. Pixel Tamer finding a samurai bow too in the chest below Sheila's tower. That's a pretty nice bow to find, and that's an Odin blocking the King Queen Evelyn spot. That's a little rude.
That's the wrong colored king sprite there, unfortunately, and that's going to be a pretty nasty spot because this spot is a very fast spot. And
Yeah,
Odin,
I know. Yeah, the Murasame is going to do some good damage. I know we saw some Thunderclaws, but that punches real hard.
of course, Odin hits 3 times and then does his special "You're all dying" attack. So it's going to be very dangerous.
Yeah, it's going to be no joke here. Yeah, Dia takes a reset. Might be going to find the Mad Ogre chest to get some more levels on this party, or might just be going back out and trying to find a Thunderclaw.
Looks like Gambit is hitting Watery Pass, hitting those chests there, trying to get some more decent items. Since this is the T Wildish flag set, you're going to find some pretty decent items in this location most of the time.
Yeah, and we see Xenocat picking up one of the chests that I almost never do on our deals. Finds an Ogre Axe in it, so that's a nice find.
Absolutely, that is a very good weapon that a lot of different characters can use.
Looks like Tia's going to take a stop at Mysidia, summon the whale, and go see who's up on the moon. And I imagine that Odin's going to be the first real roadblock of the seed for most people.
Right, that's only the first boss you have to fight. The second boss, which we know is going to be a lunar sparkle. I think the only ones we haven't seen yet are plague, uh, D-Lunars, and at least one other, I think, right?
Yeah. So Plague D Lunars, we've seen Wyvern. We know that someone else is up in Bahamut, but not who. So it could be Ogopogo there. That would be awfully rude. Yes, and in chat, people asking if was there an Edward passed on. Yeah, Edward is in bed with the fever, and we do have a Sanderby, so any of our runners can pick them up. Well, Xenocat can't quite yet, but will once he is done with it. Once they are done with reveals.
Unfortunately, we had not yet seen the spoon, so his I guess he still has the samurai bow. Not the end of the world, but that may be the most damage you would want from a character in your party at this point.
I'll also be interested to see if anyone does Edward strats on that Odin.
I believe we are guaranteed to have some either lit bolts or 4 rages on the overworld shops, so there could be definitely some sort of hide and seek strats happening with Eddie there.
They're definitely available. And Dia finding Rydia up on the moon as well. Done with her second objective.
Pixel finding out the bad news about Odin here. Gambit has opted to kill Kanat, so I'm wondering, just looking for a little more experience in the overworld for hitting the hook route.
Yeah, or also some of these chests behind here too. These are some pretty good chests also. So it could be looking for some high-end loot back behind that boss. But
Right.
unfortunately, I think Strength Ring was the best thing that was found there.
Pixel had to take a reset off of Odin, unsurprisingly, but is looking to make a few changes and going to make it a second attempt here.
Yeah, I'm sure all of our runners would feel a little more comfortable if they had found some illusions for this fight. But I don't think we've seen them in the overworld.
Dia making a very interesting play here, going to the Giant.
Yeah, this could be just a check for King Queen at the element spot. That'd be a huge rush and infusion of XP, and would be a great Galaxy Brain play if it works out. I don't think they're quite set up to do Mech Giants at all, or definitely not set up to do any sort of D-Machine grind. So this is probably just a quick, hey, are you a boss I want?
It would be quite a coup if it did end up being a free boss here, because this is a lot of experience at this spot.
And Odin is now 3-0 against our runners. Looks like Gambit is also making the same play. Very, very interesting.
I'm just double checking my cheat sheet here. This spot has only 6,000 hit points, so if you can manage to calm him down and slow him down a little bit, because it is a very fast boss spot, it's not the most hit points in the world. It's definitely doable.
Yeah, it is definitely on the table as being not too hard, but will be a little bit rough. Looks like Diaz turned on encounters.
She's also going to take a check at the boss spot here, finding Evil Wall, and living up to the evil name in that location, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard no, especially for this team at these levels.
Yeah, but also took a peek up at the giant, but reset out.
And I see Dia having edge attack the Searcher. I wonder if this is just a quick infusion of XP because this is a pretty non-dangerous fight. While you just have, if you kill the Searcher before it summons anything.
Absolutely, this is definitely an amount of XP that's definitely worthwhile. The viewers will only do percentage-based hit point damage, so even though you are technically underpowered at this level, it's still very manageable. And Pixel is through Odin. That is
very nice,
very impressive. Very well done there on his part. I can imagine a lot of runners having a lot of issues with that spot. That's a nasty spot.
Yeah, that is not a friendly spot there. I agree.
And so now we can see what the reward is for having gotten through that spot. Is it going to be an even nastier spot at the Rubicante spot, or is it going to be Plague, which is now?
Yeah, Plague would be manageable, but pretty slow. I don't know if they really have... that's Ogopogo. That is not super fun. This is a mean seed.
No, this is all sorts of bad.
Rose is going to need some levels to get Berserk to get edge going. Although we do know we have a Bacchus wine somewhere, so if we can get edge just going, the Ogopogo won't be too terrible. Definitely be interested to see what kind of grind strategy people employ. I know Dia knows the reaction grind up on the moon to get some levels and a quick infusion of XP. She's also clearly showing some out-of-the-box strats here. Make up a good chunk. It's like 24,000. That's some pretty nice levels.
That's going to do a decent number for her team. But we got the virus on Hallam.
Yeah, it gets Berserk on Rosa.
Rosa had it through with their Gothic grind on ordeals.
Looks like Pixel Tamer is taking a walk back out. If I remember correctly, back in last year's Wingway Open, Pixel Tamer and I were both in a race featuring a mean Ogopogo at that spot, and that was definitely a roadblock in that race too. That's a nice Stardust route just sitting out there. If they can get there, if Pixel Tamer can get Quack Kid some either Quake or Virus, that's going to help a lot. If they want to start doing some reflex strats, because the phase count is going to hurt probably too much.
At that location, yes, absolutely.
And Media's in chat asking, what's tonight's craziness? Tonight is all about Edge. We started with Edge, and we have to go do a lot of Edge-based story things. We'll get some very good equipment with T Wildish on. And we'll have to have to find Edge's parents, have to defeat Rubicant, have to defeat the whatever bosses are Same and Masamune altars, also find Rydia and launch the Falcon.
So far, everyone's found Rubicante. I was at Hobbs, and Rydia's on the moon. They have the Darkness Crystals, so they can pick her up anytime they want. But as for the other 4 objectives, we're currently coming up blank.
And it looks like Dia, having got that infusion of levels, might be doing a Mac Giant grind. Has found the fight. I think Dia is just going to get all of her levels right now.
That would be a very impressive feat to do at this point in the seed.
Well, we did find Zeus Gauntlet somewhere, so if Cecil has those Zeus Gauntlets on, he'll be able to cover everyone very well. And won't have to really worry about it.
Gambit also has found the Mac Giant grind location there. While Pixel is opting to take a stalemate fight to get a few extra levels as well.
I admit I was not thinking that anyone would be doing Mac Giants when we started the seed, but some rude bosses on the hook route are definitely forcing some different strategies.
Necessity is the mother of invention, I'm afraid. Pixel looks to be walking back through Babel, trying to go maybe take another shot at that Ogopogo. Hopefully has picked enough levels to make a good go at it.
Yeah, the Ogopogo is one of the fights that's a little bit hard to level enough to get there because you end up leveling up your HP so much that's hard to keep up the healing. At least Rosa learns Cure 3 at a pretty reasonable level so that you actually kind of can do that with her. If it was Porum, it'd be a much harder road.
Yes, Pixel's going to take another shot at Ogo here.
Yeah, it looks like Dia is just about done with this particular version of the fight. Berserking Edge, who has a Thunderclaw equipped, we saw him Edge punch that Searcher for about 2,000 points of damage. So probably Cecil's a little bit under defended at this point. And Dia's just looking to kind of get out of this fight, get some experience.
Trying to keep everyone above ground here with the search having gone down, so hopefully it'll be done pretty quickly.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I think Gambit Cecil is a little bit better defended. I saw him only take 33 from the punch. There's a couple hundred. So not super great, but he's definitely managing the fight pretty well. Rosa barely hangs on for Pixel Tamer, just 2 HP in a dream, but gets that Cure 2 off. Keeps her up.
That is only doing about 800, 900 a pop, and this spot I think has, I want to say 25,000 hit points or something in that range, so it's going to be a long haul here, Pixel.
Yeah. And Rosa takes a little bit too much and takes a nap. Probably going to spell a reset.
Right. Xeno's found the Mad Ogre spot in the Babel here, trying to get a few more experience points on his guys for taking on the bosses here.
Yeah, definitely a pretty good and reasonable idea. Dia is done up in the Giant and is now from the moon, I believe. Gambit doing a nice job of using the Peep spell to see how much is left on that Searcher and deciding what to do. It looks like there might be a quick cure to keep going.
Very interesting use of that spell. So it's not one you normally see used in a race. It does look like Dia is going to be taking a look down here in the subterrane, going towards the Murasame altar. If I'm not mistaken. I can never keep the two altars apart. Which one's Murasame, which one's Murasame?
This is the Murasame.
Okay.
The Pale Dim spot. And speaking of Masamune's, Gambit somewhere also picked one of those up. So we've seen Murasame and also Masamune weapons available in the seed.
CPU at the spot here. Definitely a manageable fight if you want to take it at this point, because it's going to be a decent amount of damage that you have to deal in order to get through it.
Yeah, definitely doable. That Rosa will be fine and Edge will be darting a lot of stuff, so this won't take too long and will be a great infusion of XP. Could definitely be faster if you come back later, but Dia probably looking for XP fairly quickly is probably pretty happy to see this. This is at least doable.
Yes.
Pixel Tamer still hanging on with that Edge against Ogopogo. Looks like Edge might have used the Moon Veil since we just saw a miss come through.
That's a very good use of that item, which you picked up on your way through.
Yeah, it could have been something that either Gambit or Dia could have used too on their grind with the Searcher Mech Giant.
Looks like Xeno's got 3 of the 4. No, we've got 4 out of 4 Mega Overs down for another 12,000 experience points. Got Berserk on Rosa.
Yeah, that'll be a very, very handy spell. Gets a Dragoon Spear out of it. That's not too bad. We do need Kane to actually make use of that as a good dart, but that is a great dart. I know I'd be tempted to hold on to it if I could, but Ogopogo is a very, very good target for that.
No, at this point in the seed, I think you just want to throw anything and everything you have at Ogo, because this might be just the nastiest boss you're going to have to face this entire seed.
And Gambit has completed his grind, seeing a lot of levels on that Rosa.
Nice cure for its life too. That should tell you everything you need to know right there.
Yeah, and that's 41 levels on. So that's what it looked like.
Yeah, this is end game levels at this point for Gambit's party.
Yep, absolutely. That is a whole bunch of level 40 characters. So be curious with no pass whether Gambit decides to storm the moon and do those 2 right away, or just waits on it, because why would you do anything sooner?
That is a good point. In this flags that there are no passes available, so if you can manage to make it so that the last thing you have to do are the altars on the moon, you can just then go straight towards the realms and finish the seed.
Oh, and it looks like a bit of a gamble play. I don't know if Gambit had peaked this evil wall. Probably not, since then we get a quick reset.
Always worth a peek if you're up there to see if it's a free boss. Xenocat is through with Odin.
Very good. Second restrained runner down, done with that fight. Gambit using a cabin. So Gambit is either going to fight that evil wall and has spent a cabin unnecessarily, since you do get a free heal, or decide to cabin up on the way out. Yeah, looks like Gambit is just taking the heal off the cabin and gonna walk out.
And Pixel has gotten through Ogo. That shows lots of resilience here to get through that boss at that spot with that party. So congratulations to him.
Yes, that is nicely done. That Moon Veil helped a lot, but just the wherewithal to see the Moon Veil in the inventory and make sure you use it on your edge. Very good job.
And it's the first runner, at least of the restream runners here, to get down into the underground.
I couldn't quite see who that was up in the Dark Lugate spot. Okay, it might have been a Dark Knight Cecil.
Looks right. That looked right to me, yes. Dia has finished up her CPU fight, getting the altar cleaned up and a protect ring for her troubles.
And I missed also what Gambit got out of the last arm chest. That chest can hold some very, very good gear.
So now with the entirety of the underground available to him, Pixel Tamer's going to hit Sylph Cave first and say hello to Yang down there.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good choice. Go get some key items. You want to kind of unlock everything as soon as you can, so that you can just absolutely blitz through the rest of your checks.
Give Dia going deeper into the boon. I'm guessing going to take out the second of the required altars while she's down there. And Gambit has hit the boon himself and is checking out the Hummingway Cave. And that's another Stardust Rod on Pixel's side, having woken up Yang. Now, it's not going to be a key item. We knew that because summon bosses were not active for this flag set, so there would be any key items in the summon bosses. But a Stardust Rod is absolutely a good pickup.
Yeah, it's something Dia will be very happy to see with her Black Mage heavy team, with having both Palm and Rydia.
It's also hitting Fey March. Makes absolute perfect sense. Get your free checks out of the way. Meanwhile, it does look like Gambit is going to follow Dia's lead and walk down through the subterranean. First of all, of course, get the Rydia, check that off your objectives, and hey, look at that King Queen Eplin on Dia's side.
That is very nice to see for Dia, and also nice to see for Pixel Tamer is that Earth Crystal in the vanilla rat tail chest. And thank you to Marco Cogs letting us know that it was a crystal ring that we got out of the last armor chest, which is a pretty good get.
Yes, that could be a very useful piece of equipment there. So with this King Queen Evelyn, I believe we are now, at least commentator-wise, in no mode. We know where everything is.
Yeah, and Dia is very much in go mode.
That is true. That is true. She knows. She's got Rydia. She's beaten up the altar. She's got King Queen. She's got Rubicante. She certainly knows where the Falcon is. It's just a matter of having to go down there and get it.
Yep, and with 100,000 experience points she got from this, that's going to be a little bit easier than it had been for most of our other runners. Gambit also looking to make this moon play will be handsomely rewarded as well.
Dia is exiting out after having fought King Queen spot, leaving the last altar undone, which makes perfect sense because, as we said before, there's no passes in this flag set, so she's going to have to walk towards the realms anyway, so might as well clean off that last altar on your way there. If you're doing this, look at the job dwarf, by the way. Oral and maxillofacial surgeon.
That is a mouthful.
Yeah, I'm taking the CPU fight right now with the added levels ahead of what Dia had when she fought the fight. This should be a little bit easier for him. Meanwhile, Zenicat has gotten through the Ogo fight and is blocking the Falcon themselves.
Yeah, didn't have too much trouble with either of those fights. Same with the quick heal up at the Dwarf Drinking Fountain. And then probably looks like he's going straight to Dwarf Castle to fight a couple more bosses. Definitely a good play most of the time. You get 2 boss checks here. We already know we have the character, so that's not necessary, but 2 bosses and a key item is pretty nice. Just unfortunately for Pixel Tamer, the boss they're looking for is in a different room.
The only thing I can see that would basically give him an advantage over the other runners that we're watching right now would be if he finds the Adamant or the Pink Tail as the item here, because that would give him a rather nice equipment edge over the other runners.
Yeah, that would be nice to have for sure. Uh, Unfortunately, I think Dia is in a very strong position, and Gambit as well. Uh, Assuming Gambit goes down to the ribbon just to try to find the King Queen. Pixel Tamer has found some vanilla dolls.
I think it's the first piece of vanilla we've seen so far this seed.
And Dia making a second run back at Odin. Probably going to go much better this time. Although, goodness, he's punching really hard and fast.
Let's say I thought she set up Palom as an anchor, but possibly not at this point.
But Edge, with all those levels and great ninja swords, cleans up Odin pretty quickly.
And Dia's not going to bother saving, he's going to go right into the Ogo fight.
And Pixel Tamer sweating a little bit, having one Cal left over after using a Stardust, but does get the last doll down before we get the big doll. And Xenocat doing a little bit of RA1 Quake strats on the Warrior's chest. Nicely done. And getting a ribbon for their troubles.
Very nice item to pick up there. We've seen some very, very nice plays on all our runners' parts tonight. So, by the way, please give them a follow if you want to see more from them.
And then Pixel Tamer finds a bonus round behind the dolls with D-Mist there. Definitely a place you enjoy seeing D-Mist because there's not a lot of HP here, so you'll be able to get through it pretty quickly and don't have to go through many cycles.
Yes, it's always a bear when you find D-Mist in one of those places that has a ton of hit points and know you're going to be in there for several cycles. Gambit's through the CPU fight, cleans up the Murasame altar.
Gets his Protect Ring and his third objective.
And yes, Pixel gets through the D-Mist fight without much trouble. Gets to see the spectral hand take the crystal in the cutscene.
The other reason why this is the best spot in the game for D-Mist.
Yes.
So what sort of dwarven fashion do you think Luke is going to have for us today?
Say for his hope, I hope it's either a pink tail or an adamant. No, just a very volatile package.
I don't imagine we'll see that checked. Unless Pixel Tamer is thinking Galaxy Brain, that might be where King Queen are. But Dia is now through the Ogopogo spot. Saw at least one cast of Cure 4. All those levels coming in very nicely, nice and handy for that fight.
Yeah, she'll have the Falcon launch very shortly, and that would only leave the Masamune altar left to clean up, and she'll be right on Zeromus' doorstep at that moment.
It'll be interesting to see if she does any extra grinding for levels. I'm not sure if she quite has the levels that most people are comfortable with for Zeromus, but I do know that Dia is very comfortable with the level strats.
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking for me personally, I would need a bit more grinding to feel comfortable, but I've seen Dia play. I know she can pull off some very, very strong and interesting plays with Zeromus, so I would not be surprised if she went right to him.
This time we're getting a Tower Key from Sheila 1 and the Adamant from Sheila 2. So we do have Excaliburs online for Pixel Tamer if
Very
he
nice.
wants them.
Yes, very nice item for Cecil right there. We do see Gambit going straight to the Masamune altar instead of doing what Dia did and looking at the ribbon spot first. We'll get our first shot at what boss is here. it does look like Pixel is going to take a peek at the package, see what character, or no, he's got Demus to look for. That's first things first.
Yep, gotta get your extra key items. That's a spoon.
We've got an antlion at the Ogo spot.
That is not super pleasant.
I know I saw Gambit pop a moon veil on the edge there as well to help through this. But doesn't block the counters.
Yeah, it doesn't block the counters. Cecil looked like is doing some covers, so should be pretty well equipped to just kind of tank most of the hits. Looks like Pixel Tamer has getting that spoon, is got Edward up, and is going to be duplicating some spoons. Yeah, and LSL, our restreamer tonight, noting that Antlion is indeed rude here. Antlion is very, very angry about being so far down in the moon, so far away from the Sand Ruby.
Practically as far away as you can get on the seed.
Yep. Pixel Tamer now has effectively infinite spoons. Edge is going to have a good time the rest of the seed.
And we see Dia is going to do a little bit of Warlock training with the Sirens that she has to possibly finish up her levels here.
Yeah, those Warlocks don't really want to be ground on, though, taking out Rosa.
Still getting the news about the Octobomb and the miss spot. Resetting out very quickly.
Same, we're also taking advantage of that Earth Crystal, hopefully looking to find some good items here. We could see some adamant armors, or crystal swords, or other goodies.
Right, we have T Wildish as the flag for our treasure chest, so the treasury here could be very lucrative. Gambit is through the Antlion, has that objective taken down. I believe now it's just a matter of trying to find the King Queen on his side, and luckily for him, it's a short walk.
Yeah, if you decide to check, definitely is in face check mode and will just start doing things. Yep, and there's an adamant armor and a crystal sword we do indeed find in the Troya treasury. So, my goodness, that's a good Earth Crystal.
We have the adamant spoonword dream alive.
Now we just need levels. Probably looking to get 800 to 1,000 or more HP on him to actually survive an Earth Big Bang. Gambit does find the King Queen Evelyn here.
Luckily for,
has himself a go mode.
Luckily for him, it's in that driven spot where you want to go to first, since it's got those two key items.
Yeah. Or at least in this flag set, two very good items, even though they won't be key items.
Exactly, I misspoke. There are no key items here on the moon bosses.
Yeah, we're just so used to thinking of those key item locations. And Dia's done grinding at 58 minutes and change. Dia's going straight down to Zeronis.
Very interesting to see how quickly Gambit is going to finish up here. Dia still has to finish up the altar here.
I totally forgot about that portion of it.
You could have a very close finish here between the two of them.
Yeah, Gambit still has to go down Earth and finish out the hook route, though, I believe.
No, that's absolutely right. I forgot about that. He went straight from the giant to the moon. He didn't go back down to Earth.
Left-footed Tilton in chat asking what he missed. Well, you missed a lot of the seed. You missed a rude Odin blocking the way to Underground and King Queen Evelyn. You then followed up by Ogo Pogo. Dia had seen those and decided, no, I'd rather get some levels, and went to the moon and the giant instead. We found Rydia up on the moon. We found the hook at Antlion, I believe. No, Antlion had. No, I think Hook was at Antlion.
I believe you're right, yes.
Rubicant was guarding a Dark Knight Cecil up on Mount Hobbs. And Pixel Tamer has shown us that the Eblin Treasury was very, very nice today, with both a Crystal Sword and an Adamant Armor.
Interestingly enough, Gambit's Edward, who was using as an anchor, got some levels from the King-Queen fight, so interested to see if he chooses to keep him around. I don't know if he found the curse string that other people found yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either. I know we've seen the curse ring a few times, and we do have a first place finisher, PK4787 with a dot done 1 hour, 1 minute, and 49 seconds into the seed.
GG to him. Yeah, there is Gambit taking the hovercraft over to the cave. Going to have to go ahead and clear out the remaining bosses down there and launch Falcon, but then he will be in go mode.
Yeah, and Gambit will have no need to grind any extra. Had done all the grinding required up on the giant, and doing the extra fights should have finished off Gambit's levels just fine.
Pixel is taking a look at the Earth Crystal going up the Tower of Zot, seeing Dark Imps here at the second spot.
Yep, these will go down nice and fast. And I think chat had said there was another Rydia up here. So we didn't have to go to the moon to get Rydia, it was just the easier one to find.
It was one we're always going to find because we always have to go there anyway. Dia is through with her Antlion fight there, and is going to be getting the crystal very shortly.
Yeah, we'll see if Dia does the swag walk down, gets a crystal ring first, and then we'll get the actual crystal.
Xenocat also taking the Earth Crystal down to the treasury, going to be very handsomely rewarded.
Just looking through Xenocat's item list there, there's a lot of good items just sitting in that inventory, not doing much. I bet Gambit's going to breathe a nice sigh of relief after seeing both of these bosses that he would have had to fight at earlier levels being pretty much pushovers at this point for him.
Yes, this shouldn't take him much time now that he's basically at endgame levels to just chew through the Odin and the Ogopogo down here that other people have had to basically bonk their heads against so many times to get through here. And meanwhile, yes, Dia is very close to facing off Zeromus, and as is tradition around here, when we get to Zeromus, we always randomize the appearance that he takes once we throw the crystal on him. So there's get your flags out in chat, and would you like to ask the question?
Oh, I would love to. Chat, whose butt are we going to kick this Monday evening? Do you have any favorites you'd like to see?
For personal reasons, I always like Team Rocketmas. Gambit is through the first fight of the hook route, gets Ogo going very quickly, I imagine.
Yep, takes no time in between. We'll probably be knocking Palom down a little bit to take a nap, I imagine.
Pixel, however, is going to be giving us a little bit of a treat here. He's taking a walk through the Magnet Cave and is going to be giving us some music. So while D is going to be taking on Zeromus, we're gonna pause for a moment and hear what random music has been set up for us. Getting some music from FF7 there, Costa del Sol, while D has revealed that Shadowmus is our final fight tonight.
Some very soothing intro music for the tense Zeromus fight D is going to have in front of her. Cecil's the only character above 2000 HP, so we'll probably see a lot of nerfs coming out.
I know she's very good at timing out those nerf big bangs, though, so I'm sure she can take care of herself. Meanwhile, Gambit is through the hook route, gets his crystal, will be going to the moon very shortly. Pixel Tamer, unfortunately, seems to have come upon a sort of a dead end of key items here, having got the tower key. But those two tower bosses are looking pretty good right now, although he should have seen that the top of the tower was not going to be King Queen on his way down.
Yeah, could still be looking for a Baron key or a Luca key, though, not knowing where that King Queen is hiding. Definitely understand the decision to keep hunting places. You never know how fast other people got through things or what they checked in what order. And a lot of people don't even keep the Discord open to see .duns coming in.
Oh, absolutely. I in his position, I think I'd be doing exactly the same play, trying to do as many checks on the Earth and the underground before going to the moon.
Yep. And in the meantime, we have had two other runners finish. Penguinator finishing in second place, and Dustiger finishing in third place. GG's to both excellent runners.
Absolutely. This was a seed that rewarded knowledge of alternate grinds to help get through those nasty hook bosses.
Yeah, and mental flexibility too, to be like, those are pretty gross. I don't want to really fight them if I'm going to level up them as a low all the rest of the way. Which is definitely not a skill that everyone has or thinks about in the middle of any particular race.
And at the top of the tower, we do see Dark Knight Cecil, free boss if ever there was one, so it's a good place to get a little more experience and another key item.
Yeah, the Dark Wave won't hurt too much here. Dr. Luke's spot doesn't have a whole lot of punching power.
She is still working her way through Zeromus, keeping that Big Bang as low as possible, but still has three characters on the ground.
Yeah, Dia doesn't have a whole lot of offensive power, really, for this fight, so this will take a bit of time.
Gambit has the higher level, so it's entirely possible that he could still make a run at this to sort of pip the post here.
Yeah, it's definitely either one of those games. Dia is not doing reflex yet, so we'll have to go through the full complement of Zermos is approximately 100,000 HP when you get the refill in. And Gambit's, as you said, going to be doing a lot more damage overall. Should be getting multiple Berserkers going for Gambit, and should have enough HP to not worry quite as much about the big bangs.
Meanwhile, Pixel Tamer picked up the Luca key at the top of the tower here. Unfortunately, another way to go wrong.
Yeah, another place to not find the Kingwing Upland. Could still find that Pinktail though. Get a second Adamant Armor, have a nice free and easy Zeromus fight.
This is a relatively nasty blind alley to have been fallen into, and it's given where these key items were located, it was a very easy one to fall into, in my opinion.
Ooh, and Dia takes a high roll.
It's always the danger you run when you have to do with these nerfed big bang strats. The RNG could just end up killing you.
Yeah, and if you just don't quite get that nerf off, because that looked like that was an unnerfed Big Bang, it's just really hard to handle. When you just don't have the levels, none of those characters could have taken an unnerfed Big Bang, unfortunately.
It looks like he's going to go back and do a little bit more grinding to get a few more levels while Gambit goes into the fight.
And PK asking if Dia did a grind. She did a little bit. She did a couple of things in the Giant, and did a few Warlock fights, but not nearly as much as Gambit did.
Also, Pequinator asking the path to the Spoon. I believe that the Spoon was behind D-Mist, which was the second boss in Dwarf Castle. Pixel is going to turn in that the Adamant and the Legend Sword to pick up the Excalibur.
You know, just a little extra icing on the cake with the spoons and the crystal sword and stuff. Might be seeing a Soul Excalibur very soon. Yep.
See if the Coco Shop has anything worthwhile tonight. Meanwhile, Zetacat also giving us a little bit of music. Unfortunately, just getting the Magnet Key from the Dark Elf spot.
And Pixel Tamer did pick up a few crystal rings, which are some very, very nice defensive rings, and also give you a good bonus to agility. You also saw some moon veils, a heroine robe, and silver apples in that shop.
Pretty nice, all things considered. Well, looks like Gambit has got two of his Zerkers up.
Yep, Yang doing some very strong punching for 2,000 a shot.
We have another finisher, 4th place tonight, Dark Kobold, with a time of 1:15, 10 seconds.
And GG's to Dark Kobold, who's been doing a lot of good work in a lot of async races that I've been seeing lately.
Pixel's made it to the moon finally, picks up a few Bacchus Pines, and I'm sure he'll be very happy to see that everything he's been waiting for is relatively accessible on the moon right now.
Yeah, it looks like we'll be doing a quick stop off in Value Cave to see what sort of value we do have indeed in store for us in Cave Bahamut. There's not much, although you can find the double to gold dragon fight pretty easily here. Meanwhile, Xenocat is doing some eggs.
Always a valid grind option.
Yeah, nice and fast and safe, and a 10 key items at 68,000 goes down pretty nicely.
Yeah, but doing a good job keeping his HP up during this Zeromos fight. Nuked the Big Bang right before it came out. Doing a very good job. Should had this well managed and finished fairly reasonably soon.
Hazel Tamer picks up an extra Rydia on his side.
Does that count as another objective complete if he already did it the first time?
Unfortunately, no.
Ah.
It's too bad you can't set the same objective twice to make sure you have to get two of the same character. Looks like Gambit is having to reset some Berserks after probably a black hole. But has rocks falling.
That's a very good sign. Means that we are almost finished on Gambit's side. And that is the flash. GG to Gambit. Gonna finish up with a final time of 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 56 seconds.
Yeah, GG to Gambit, our first member of the Restream 4 to finish, taking 5th place overall in the race. And I believe we'll be getting Gambit in shortly for an interview. Meanwhile, Dia is taking a second run at Zeromos after getting a whole bunch more levels. Dia might have to refight that Antlion, though.
I don't believe she saved it after, no she didn't after beating it, so. But with the extra levels, it should go a little quicker than it did the first time.
And we are joined by Gambit. GG's, Gambit.
GG's.
So, how did you like that Odin after doing your grind?
And
we are joined by Gambit. GG's, Gambit.
Sorry, hold on a second. That
So
Odin
how did
was
you like that
super
Odin
easy with that
after doing
Yang.
your
I
grind?
mean, he did what, 100 damage in one power punch?
That those Thunderclaw absolutely that would get rid of Odin very quickly.
Yeah, I just want to point out for the record, I, all honesty, played this seed all wrong. I should have never gone down to the moon first.
Absolutely.
But King Queen at the ribbon spot really saved my bacon there and gave me the place I ended in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was a bad play with all the levels that you got doing all your grind very early. You might as well just run at the objectives that you have left to do. So I think it was a pretty good call overall.
I wasn't actually sure if Crystal Armor Cecil would be able to tank Mac Giant punches, so that was kind of a complete guess on my part. And once I got into the grind, I'm like, cool, it's only doing about 300. I can manage this. Let's just grind up, get the Cure 4 on Roses, all I really needed, and then when to peak the Elements character said heck no to Evil Wall and decided let's just clear Moon, see what's up there, and then we'll come back to Earth, and if we can need the boss hunt for King Queen Evelyn, we'll do so.
Did you find yourself feeling like you wanted to do many duplicates throughout the seed, or you were pretty happy with just having ones and twosies of things?
I'm actually not that good at the dupe glitch. It's something that I still need to work on. So I was trying a couple times during the seed, as you probably saw, and just couldn't get it. And I was like, I'm not going to spend a ton of time doing this. If I don't get it, it is what it is. Let's just move on. I got the extra ninja sword that helped out early game. I tried to dupe a Murasame and a Claw early on. Those didn't work. So I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. We'll just go with what we got. I think the one mistake I made was forgetting to unequip the crystal armor on Cecil for the Zeromus fight, so I couldn't berserk him.
Oh, I was wondering why you didn't berserk him. That makes a whole lot of sense there.
The moment the cutscene started, I was like, ah, crud, I forgot to unequip crystal armor. Well, there goes no berserking Cecil. I guess he's going to be attack and then chemist if I need it.
It did seem to work out for you, so, GG's after all. Well done.
Yeah, it allowed me to use Cecil to nerf that Big Bang using Silk Web, so, I mean, all was not lost.
Some very good adaptive play.
I feel it was kind of one of those things. It's like once I found King Queen Evelyn, I looked at it. I was like, Earth is haunted. Everything on Earth, everything underground is completely haunted. I was glad I went Moon and decided. I was like, let me clear the objectives, check the bosses here, and let's go.
It'll definitely help that you were able to grind up to the basically end game levels and you could beat the Moon bosses here. Other races we've seen, taking down some rather nasty blind alleys on the Earth. You're absolutely right to say it was haunted.
Yeah, actually,
Gavin, you hadn't seen the Lunar Sparkle at the hook route, right? You just went straight there.
Yeah, I didn't even go down the hook until after I was pretty much in no mode, and I didn't know what was down there, and was like, actually, I made the decision as I was going up ordeals to go do Mac Giant. I was like, if I can get some decent armor, I've got a poison axe, and I ended up with an ogre axe. I was like, we'll go Mac Giant, get some levels, and then come back and see what's up. And then, of course, last chest on ordeals is a crystal armor. I'm like, okay, we're definitely going to do Mac Giant and see what goes on from there.
So once you got the levels, it was relatively easy and straightforward to see, especially once you chose to go down the Moon route then, right?
Yeah, once I got the levels, I was like, let's go ahead and clear the 2 Moon objectives first and just see what happens. And Rydia ends up on the Moon. I'm like, okay, that's a 3rd objective. And I was like, let's check the Ribbon Room. I really wanted to see if I'd find a crystal source for Cecil. That was my goal of checking the Ribbon Room. And then when it turned into King Queen Evelyn, I'm like, forget checking anything else. We're exiting out. We're going down the hook route, and then we're going back to Zeromus and ending this seed.
Clearly, making the Mac Giant grind was the right choice here to give you all the levels you needed and help you point you on the right way. And so absolutely well done, adapted the seed, and GG.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Infidel Twisted Flax, for doing commentary. Thank you, Michael Kors, for tracking. Thank you, Alasil, for the restream. And thank you for featuring me. I appreciate it, and it feels good to get a pretty high finish in this one.
Yeah, it was a very good time, and you're the first of the Restrained runners to finish the seed. GG's.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a great rest of the night. Enjoy the rest of the runners going on, okay?
Thank you. You too. CD, having finished her grind, beat up Antlion and made a safety save to make sure that she wouldn't have to do that a 3rd time.
Yeah, that would be awfully sad if she didn't make it through this time and was forced to redo anything else.
Xenocats found CPU at Osmune altar and is taking that out, while Pixel Tamer is just about to get the good news and find King Queen Evelyn.
Probably very relieved that there was no need to find the Baron Key or the Rat Tail or anything else in order to find this particular boss, but probably clued in a little bit from the finishes.
True. I'm sorry, continue.
I was just while we were talking with Gambit, we had Jeebus, Mecha, It's a Starman, and Coffee and Chocobos all also finished the race.
GG's to them.
And then what were you going to say, Twisted Flex?
It certainly is a relief because it means you don't have to try to hunt down those last remaining key items on sealed cave. I think that may be the only place remaining for the runners at this point to look for. So I'm sure they're happy to not have to deal with that. But as you said, if you're watching the Discord, you're seeing the results flow in. You must realize that it can't be that deep of a chain you have to follow in order to get to the end.
Yeah, not with that many people finishing very quickly, and you not seeing anything in any of the immediate checks. Xenocat had shown us the blank text box glitch that occasionally happens, getting a nice empty text box instead of seeing that it was a protect ring at the Murasame altar. But that ring did indeed get in the inventory.
It's always annoying. I think it happens when you hit the A button at the same frames it pops up, and you're always scrambling in your inventory afterwards. What did I get? What did I get? Trying to figure it out.
Yeah, at least here there's no possible key item, so you're not as worried about it.
So Pixel is through with King Queen fight. I'm gonna take a look at the Crystal Sword altar, apparently. Meanwhile, Dia again getting a little bit low on hit points here with Palom and Rydia down, but looks like she's still able to using a vampire to get the nuke nerf right before the bank. Well, unfortunately, that does mean that I think Seal's going to be going down.
Yeah, Seal's going down. That might be a little bit late too. That was off. Nope, that was perfectly timed. It gets so tricky when you have so few characters getting into the queue to actually know whether or not you've nerfed. But Dia is excellent at it. And just kind of resetting the party and getting everybody back up.
Here's where Paladin was hiding, by the way. It was at the Crystal Sword altar.
Yeah, so just moved down a little bit. Wanted just to see what it was like from Wyvern's perch.
And yeah, absolutely, we have Edge darting those spoons. Meanwhile, Xenocat has found King Queen Evelyn. Very happy for them to have found it at a relatively open location.
Yeah, and since Xenocat has 10 key items or more, we'll get 200,000 experience for this.
Ooh, Dia is down to 63 hit points on Edge only and has to take a reset.
Yeah, that's rough. Dia, I don't think ever found any particularly great weaponry, and has decided it looks like to take a forfeit on the seed. Some really unfortunate end to a really great start to the seed.
Absolutely, the way she was going early on, it looked like she would be the first one of our runners to finish, and just seems to have run up against a relatively nasty Z fight tonight.
It looks like Dia is up for an interview. We'll just double check. Yep, and we'll pull Dia in. And we are joined by Dia. Dia, GG's. That was a rough end to that very brilliant start.
Well, the thing is, I have never had it where after that first Searcher plus 2 Beamer fight that I didn't have Blink. And that kind of ruined everything.
Yeah, we are joined by Dia. Dia, GG's. That was grind much harder than it could have been otherwise.
Yeah, I had to cut it super short. Otherwise, I was planning on just taking these two to nuke, which definitely would have just kind of breezed through the rest of the seed. So, as like leaving the Tower of Babel, after seeing Odin there and knowing there was a lunar boss, I was leaving actually hoping it was Ogopogo, knowing that would be a big stop for most people. I figured now if I grinded, that would be something I could get through a lot quicker than them, and that's how I could gain back the time it takes to grind there.
That's correct. This is definitely a seed that rewarded people who are more familiar with alternate grinds, like the Mac Giant grind and Beamer grind.
Also,
yeah,
go ahead. I realized too late, I actually had this set up for the reaction grind. I forgot I had that ninja hat that would have worked on Palom to get that grind going.
Yeah, I know we had seen some fairly early curse rings too, and I didn't know if you had picked one up, whether or not that could also help you get the reaction grind going. because I know that's in your bag of tricks as well.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever
Okay.
seen anyone take the Searcher Beamer fight just to get up to Blank and get some other levels. That was a very ingenious piece of play that unfortunately just didn't quite work out for you.
Yeah, I've done that in a couple of seeds, but I've just never seen it where I don't get blanked. I think it's from where she was such a low level because she wasn't in the starting party and she wasn't being slingshot. And I've never had that combination before.
That makes sense. Did you get any life glitches off on any of them too?
I think I got 1 or 2 on the Giants, I don't remember. Oh, on the Beamers? No. I usually don't.
Yeah.
It's not... Generally, it's not worth it there, because you want to save it on the Giants.
Right. I just wondered if that would getting one off might have gotten Rose up to Blank instead.
Yeah, maybe. Just a weird turn of events on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you feel when you saw Kinkman Eblin there at the ribbon spot?
I was like, okay, well, the moon play just paid off, because now I'm just wondering how much is everyone else going to search underground to find Kinky Ebon versus just going to the moon after getting the Falcon.
For what we're seeing from the other runners, it all depended on whether or not you were willing to do a grind before clearing out the hook bosses. We had a couple of our runners here, basically power through the hook bosses at lower levels and get caught in some rather nasty dark alleys. So by doing that early grind, getting those levels and getting the confidence to go up to the moon, you definitely had one foot in the right direction.
Yeah. Also, was Pain or the freebie an adamant or exile?
The freebie was an Earth Crystal, and the Troya Treasury had an Adamant and a Crystal Sword.
Okay. That's funny.
Yeah, it was kind of loaded back there.
The way it works sometimes, if you go there, you find nothing. If you don't go there, it's where basically the entire treasury is worth the entire game.
Every chest you don't open is an adamant.
Yep, 100%. Sometimes it's still an Adamant if you do open it.
It's true.
Do you have any other thoughts on the seed, Dia?
No, first time with the Duke glitch. Does it not work when you fight bosses?
No, it does work when you fight bosses.
I just screwed up then.
Yeah, I know you can't carry it over in between fights. So if
Yeah.
you get into another encounter, it kind of goes away. Yeah, I saw you try it at least once and it didn't quite work out. I do know that you have to put it, like you want it in where you have both the left and right column empty on the same row. And you start
Oh.
with the right-hand column. Is where you drag up from there.
That's interesting.
Meanwhile, we do see Pixel Tamer has finished the race here at time of 1:33:23. I think he'll be joining us for an interview pretty shortly.
Okay. Any other questions?
I don't think I do. Do you, Twisted Flax?
No, commiserations for how the seed ended, because I think you did an amazing start to the seed and you were just in the right direction. It's just fortunate that it didn't quite work out.
Thanks for the commentary, the ratio and tracking from all of you, and thanks for everything.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
And we are now joined by Pixel Tamer. GD's Pixel.
Thanks. How's it going?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I might have tilted a little bit when I saw Rydia on the moon. Because right as those first duns were coming in, I was in the middle of getting her in Zot and figured, okay, I must be not far behind.
No, unfortunately, it was right there from the beginning as soon as you got the Darkest Crystal. On the other hand, you did get the treasury and get some very nice items from it.
Also, that adamant armor meant I didn't have to worry about pigtails to get anywhere up to maximum potential.
Yeah,
So-
having the Adamant Spoonward, it's always a nice find.
Yeah, these flags have gotten me to really appreciate what Spoonward is capable of.
Absolutely, it's a very powerful character. When you got through the hook route, you had to face Odin and Ogo one after the other, and you powered right through it. Were you considering doing a grind at that point to try to get the more levels, or just figured I'm here, I just want to get through it?
Well, with Odin, I realized I was close. So if I got some good luck on grimoires and rolled high on my Thor rages, I thought I could do it. So between the silk webs and lowering my battle speed, I was able to do it. And then when it came to Ogopogo, I was going to do a grind, and then I got the Moon Veil out of that trap chest and realized I can make Edge basically invulnerable, and as long as I have enough Cure 2s to keep him alive, I can power through that, and I was able to, although I was pretty low on Cure 2s at the end there.
Yeah, that's definitely nerve-wracking, but some great play to get through both of those. You're the first runner on the regime to get underground.
Yes, I'll take that.
Now, did you manage to do any of the item duplication glitches? I believe we saw. You did you got tons of spoons, didn't you?
Yes, as soon as I turned into Mist Dragon, Edge did nothing but throw spoons, except for, I think, the Dark Imp fight, when I thought, oh, they don't have enough hit points, I'll just smash fight instead.
It's always nice when it works out on a scene where the spoon Edward with the spoon is on, item duplication glitch is on. You can get it all working, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like this flag set, and I think it's really flavorful too, because it's totally Edge focused on the objectives, and it's been fun.
Very good. It's always good to hear that the community race flag sets that get put together are fun and entertaining for people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice to see how the community's grown since I've been away for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you feel about all those rabbit holes as you're going underground and not finding the King Queen Evelyn fight?
At some point I realized I'm just gonna have to cut my losses, because it's probably on the moon given how fast people are dunning, and turned out it was.
No, it was absolutely just a question of how comfortable you felt to go to the moon, and when people were able to do that and basically find everything they needed to find up there.
Yeah, with Adamant Spoonword and Spoon Throwing Edge, I figured I'd be okay, especially if I found an easy fight or two up there, and I did, so that worked out. Overall, pretty happy with how this went. Just, getting baited by that Earth Crystal.
Absolutely, but on the other hand, it did give you some rather nice equipment to help make the rest of the seed flow a little smoother. Any other comments on the rest of the seed?
No, this was pretty good. I had fun. That's the important thing, right?
Absolutely. And GG's, and thank you for playing the Twin Heart music. That was wonderful to hear.
And thanks for
Definitely champion of the restream.
all the good things that the community does.
Thank you very much, and GG to you.
All right, talk to you later.
Have a good evening.
Xenocat's gotten to the Shadowmus fight and has seen the rocks falling, so we are very close to finishing up on their stream as well. In fact, there we go. That is a finish of a time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 8 seconds for Xenocat. GG to them.
Yeah, GG's indeed. We'll see if we can get Xenocat in for an interview.
In the meantime, if you've been watching and you want to try out this flag set, we're going to be doing another race on Friday with the same flag set as we normally do. 2 races a week. So come join us at the Discord. We'll be starting that race Friday evening at 10 o'clock Eastern.
And we'll be on one of the random media networks for that race. And of course, if you enjoyed what you've seen, feel free to come in and join the Discord, as we've seen a couple links show up in chat. We're always happy to help any new players learn how to run the game, and we have lots of helpful guides and instructions and various spreadsheets and things. And we have lots of races going on all the time that aren't just these community races that we feature, but there are a few recurring other racing clubs and flag sets. Some have a more competitive bent than others. Some are kind of a good exploratory into what's available in the game with some randomized flags as well. And it looks like we are now joined by Xenocat. GG Xenocat.
GG Xenocat. Thank you.
So how did you feel about the way that seed worked out for you?
Okay. I don't feel bad about any of the decisions I made, particularly. Other than I would not have gone Twin Harp if I was not being restreamed.
We absolutely appreciate that. Yes. What did you think about the hook bosses that route?
And I was at 9 key items, and it would have sped up my grind, so I was like, I may as well. I'll try. Sorry about that.
Oh, no
Right,
problem.
we
Lower
keep getting
back
some feedback, so but it sounds good now.
Yeah.
So you did actually get to go down to the treasury and take a look at the items down there. You found some very nice stuff. Crystal sword, adamant armor. I'm sure that was nice to see.
Yeah, that was really nice, because I was rocking, I think, a light sword before that on my Cecil, and so I was like, Cecil will be alright for the Z fight, but it was really nice to have Cecil become a big hitter there.
In the latter part of that seed, I think you're looking around just trying to find the King Queen Evelyn spots, and you actually found them on the moon. Were you just sort of feeling like I know they've got to be around here somewhere when you started seeing other people finish up the seed?
Yeah, once I started seeing people finish, I was like, they're probably on the moon, but I don't want to go to the moon until I grind, and I'm kind of close-ish. I was like, I'll finish Babool, and then I'll think about what I'm doing, and then I was like, oh, I may as well hit up the treasury and do Zot while I'm there to see if I want to trade out my Rydia, because I didn't really want to bring Rydia to the Z fight. And from there I was like, I have Twin Harp, I'm going to do music for the fans, and I'm at 9 key items.
Champion of the people.
Yeah, and since it's a K main, you're pretty guaranteed to get that extra key item to get you to 10, so it's a pretty good decision.
Yeah, I figured it was almost guaranteed to be a key item, and I didn't care what it was, I just wanted the bonus experience.
That's smart heads up play there. Anything else to remark about how the seed went for you?
I got a little bit too excited when I found King Queen Evelyn and didn't realize I hadn't done the Masamune altar until I got to Zeromus, and I was like, oh. So that was fun, but
Well, thankfully it
went pretty well.
It was a very quick fix.
Yeah. If you're gonna forget something, it may as well be Masamune altar.
Yeah, that's not too bad. And everyone has done that or forgotten to forge or otherwise forgotten an objective at some point. So
yeah,
you've done it once at least. Hopefully you don't do it again. But we all probably will do it at least a couple times.
I have to say the crystal ring from the Masamune altar was very nice.
Yes, it's very
my
nice.
anchoring plan otherwise was going with an assassin dagger on the middle palm, and so he wouldn't have been nuking for nearly as much damage.
Yeah, did that get Palom up to 28 agility for you?
Yep. I had the assassin dagger, so the anchoring thing wasn't that much of an issue, but it was nice to have him be doing, 8,000 damage instead of 5,000 per nuke.
Yeah, and you do know that once you start the fight, you could have taken the assassin dagger off and re-equipped a different stat stick on him. Okay.
I'm aware, but which is what I think I did that in the first fight before I realized I didn't have the crystal. But it was nice to just not worry about re-equipping.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to not have any of that overhead going on in that fight.
Yeah.
Well, GG's. I think you did very well done job tonight. What turned out to be a pretty tricky seed.
Yeah, absolutely. GG Xenocat. That was well run.
Thanks for the GGs. It's a pleasure to run.
So I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Anthony, it's been a pleasure commentating this with you.
Yeah, you too as well, Twisted Flex. And I believe we're trying to find who we're going to send everyone off to, and find the person to actually be able to do the send off.
As we said before, we're going to be running these same flag sets on our Friday night race. Going to be restreamed off of one of the Random Mania channels. If you are watching and you are interested in playing, please come by the Discord and join us. I know I'm going to be racing that one on Friday night.
Yeah, definitely will be interested to probably race it myself. If not, I'll definitely be happy to watch and kind of join in wherever we can. And again, thank you to Aliceal and Mechacorgs for doing the restream and tracking. It was both of their first times doing those jobs. They both did an excellent job doing them.
Did an amazing job. Absolutely. Well done to both of them. Thank you so much to everyone in the Free Enterprise community as well for all the work they put in to get these races off the ground and running. They're always fun to play and always fun to watch. And I think we do have a rate target shows, but just a matter of trying to find someone who has the rights to the channel. And once again, a big thank you to Gambit, to Pixel, to Dia, and to Xenocat, all who volunteered to be restreamed tonight. And I think all of them did a very good job with this seed that had some very interesting, some very difficult issues that they had to deal with, especially with that hook route. So well done to all of them. Again, please follow the featured runners if you want to see more from them.
Yeah, they're all wonderful people and excellent runners of the game. Did a great job of adapting to what was thrown at them with this seed. And I believe we are shortly going to be rating Ground Flyer, who is still running in the race, I believe. And I believe it was Ground Flyer's first community race with us, so be sure to give Ground Flyer a lot of support.
Absolutely, always great to see new racers taking part in these races. It's wonderful to see how this community continues to grow throughout this time.